I'm Graham Volck and we farm in Emeralds. So I became involved in the reef water quality program largely because I saw it as an extension of BMP, and I just wanted to know more about what was happening with our tailwater, what nutrients, particularly nitrates, were in it. So initially the project was aimed at looking at water quality, just seeing what nitrate was coming off the fields, where it was ending up, what the numbers were. But what it led to was us doing a lot more soil testing than we'd done before. So even though we could see there was nitrate leaving the field, the numbers didn't particularly lead us to changing any practice or particularly gave us an insight as to how efficient our nitrogen application was. So where we've ended up is focusing more on intensively doing more soil testing. So probably 3 times a year now, whereas we initially used to only soil test once. By scrutinising the nutrition a lot more than we normally have done, it's probably allowed us to come to the conclusion that nutrition hasn't and isn't really limiting our yield. So flowing on from that, it's allowed us to look at other factors that may be, like the way we irrigate. So when we can pull up some yield maps, and this is one particular field at Retreat, we can look at the yield of the field, and we can, by measuring the nutrient levels before, during and after the crop, we can certainly determine if particularly nitrate was limiting in any way. So it then allows us to look at other things like irrigation and fine-tune the irrigation and other inputs that may be limiting our yield. Well, as part of this project, we purchased 2 additional EnviroScans. They're an invaluable tool that help us irrigate in a timely way. So it can potentially result in putting 1 less irrigation on. We know exactly how much rainfall enters the profile. We know just exactly when to be irrigating the crop and when we no longer need to. This is the telemetry part of the EnviroScan. So it's just solar powered, and every 15 minutes it takes a reading of the soil moisture, and I'll download that typically once a day to just have a look at the water use and work out when this needs to be irrigated, just depending on what deficit I'm using. But I'm just pulling this sensor out to show you what that looks like. So I've got sensors at 20, 40, 60 and 80 centimetre depth. So as a result of planning earlier in August, I'm going to move these sensors and have 20, 30, 50, 70. Normally I put the first irrigation on when there's a slight movement at the 40 centimetres to indicate that the plant's got roots down to that level. Well, I'm going to bump the 40 back up to the 30 and irrigate when I see moisture taken from 30 centimetres, just to ensure that we get a good, big, healthy crop growing. It tends to grow shorter into nodes, load up with fruit, and has a slightly different sort of growing style planting in August compared to what we have been doing.